Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great week. I just wanted to address a couple of questions that I've seen so far in our homework and also in our discussion thread, and hopefully clarify the scope of some of these class assignments and also our Unit 1 major assignment. So the first question I want to address is actually one that Kimberly raised in our Ask Questions Here section of our My Courses site. Um, so so this was related to Module 2 when we were writing our resumes, but I think it applies for cover letters as well. So I do want to give you my thoughts on this. So Kimberly says that she's revising a resume. Um, she was wondering if it matters to have a gap in experience. So she has job experience that is unrelated to the jobs that she is ostensibly applying for. And she's wondering, should I delete this position and leave a gap and let the other positions speak for themselves? Or should she leave it, which would make the resume longer and have a random job in between? This is a great question. I think um, the heart of the matter here speaks to what decision um, does Kim think will will best serve her needs and um, speak to her professional persona that she's trying to portray, and what decision will best speak to the needs of her audience. So, you know, with this question in mind, I just want to kind of point you to um, the justification memo part of the Unit 1 assignment. So, really, you're going to create some job documents, a resume, cover letter, LinkedIn profile, or any combination of those. Um, so those are great, but really the heart of the Unit 1 assignment is the justification memo where you're explaining some of these choices that you're making. So, I responded to Kimberly here and I said that there is no right or wrong choice here. You know, that is a frustrating answer to get as a student. I totally understand that. But I think um, what is more important for Kimberly and for us as a class to focus on is what choices are we making and why we're making them. As long as we can back up why we make some of these hard choices, um, that's going to be really the focus of this Unit 1 assignment. So I responded, I said, as long as you can explain your decision to either include or exclude unrelated job experience, you'll be good. And it sounds like in this question, Kimberly had already weighed the pros and cons of each option. Um, so really, that's what I'm looking for in the justification memo. You're going to make some big decisions in these, well, big and small decisions in the resume and the cover letter and the LinkedIn profile. I want you to explain some of those choices and why you think that they're a good fit for you and for meeting the needs of your audience. So that's question one. Another question I've been seeing relevant to module 3 is, how long should a cover letter be? I think that's a great question. Um, if you look around the internet, there's people who have lots of different answers to this. I can only speak to what I'm sort of looking for in this assignment. Um, Anything longer than a page is probably going to be too long. Um, I kind of want to share a model that I think is a pretty good model. So I found this on Indeed.com, and this is what comes to mind when I think of a cover letter, sort of like this format and this length. So it's usually like 3 paragraphs long. The first one, introducing yourself, what position you're applying for. Um, the middle one explaining some of your qualifications. The third one maybe like tying it back to the job as a hand, what you can bring to the table, and then closing it out with a nice thank you. Um, Something that I want us to focus on with the cover letters is making clear claims that connect directly to the job that we're ostensibly applying for. So if you're applying for a job that requires, in the job description, requires you to be detail oriented, that is a claim you can make about yourself in your cover letter. And I think it's better served to say that in your cover letter as opposed to your resume, because you have a little bit more space to describe what you mean when you say you're detail oriented. So you can make a claim. I think I'd be a good fit for this because I'm a detail oriented, um, focused worker. And then you can present an example, a very brief example of how you did that in your past. So I think that's really what the function of a cover letter is. It's really to explain some of those qualifications and skills that you have, that are relevant to the job at hand. It's not just regurgitating the resume. Anybody can just read your resume and they don't want a copy of that in your cover letter. They want some kind of story there. Um, so yeah, making strong claims, supporting it with a little bit of evidence is what I'm going to be looking for. I will actually share this link because I think it's a pretty good guide. Now, I will say that this is typically what I think of when I think of a cover letter, but um, say you're applying for a job and they say that you should write like 100 words explaining why you're a good fit for the position. In that case, the length of the cover letter should really be 100 words. I know that some employers have word requirements or like how much they're actually looking for. So you should keep in mind what the job description says, and speak to those needs. But in general, this is um, what I think of when I see the conventions of a cover letter. Um, I hope that this video helps clarify some questions. If you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them for you. Please send me an email or ask a question in our discussion thread on my courses. Um, I hope that you're having a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing the work that you produce this week. I'm having a good job looking over what you've done so far. So, thank you all. Have a good week. Stay gold.